Tonight, Joe Biden saying he regrets a comment he made about the black vote. Here's what he said.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community.
Out front now, Charlamagne Tha God, who you just saw there interviewing Biden on his radio show, The Breakfast Club. And Charlamagne, it's good to be with you. Hopefully in person at some point. Obviously not this time, but look, I want to play more of your exchange because it was a lengthy exchange and there was a lot of substance in there. But obviously, it is that moment which has gotten, so much attention here. What was your initial reaction when you heard Biden say, "quote, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black"?
My initial reaction was exactly what I said. That's what my focus was. It's not about Trump. It's about who is going to present the best deal for black people, who is going to have an economic justice plan for black people, who is going to finally give black people what they are owed for building this country. Slavery was America's original sin that this country has not repented for. And to fix the systemic wrongs that have been done by the black community, you have to create legislation and policies and plans to counter that. And I'm on board with whoever is offering that. I vote my interest and my interest of black period. So what I said to him, that was my initial reaction.
So you're saying though, and I just want to make this clear because I know all the Democratic candidates, they came through your show, but are you saying you are open then to voting for Trump? Like the choices are Trump and Biden. No. So
I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying that being that black people have been so loyal to the Democratic Party, and we saved Joe Biden's political life in the primaries this year. I feel like they owe. Simple as that. I'm not going to go to the person that like if I'm just saying if I was a woman, right, and I was dating the guy that I have been dealing with the longest, that's what I'm gonna go to and ask something of. Now this new person may try to woo me, but I can't really take him serious. I'm gonna go to the person that I feel like I owe something to. And
right.
That's how I look at it.
Right, and I understand what you're saying. You're saying, okay, you're not going to vote for Trump, but you don't just take it for granted. Don't just say just because I'm here, I'm going to vote for you. Okay, so
Absolutely.
I just want to make the point. Obviously, that was the moment that everyone's talking about. But this was about, in your interview, you had about 18 minutes where you were specifically talking about Biden's agenda for Black America. And I just wanted to play a brief clip of that so people can understand more of the substance here of your conversation.
A lot of black voters, including myself, feel, and that's that Democrats take black voters for granted.
I want a larger share of the black vote than anybody has, including Barack. They're the folks, as they say it my way, brung me to the dance. That's how I got elected.
We had Hillary on a few years ago. Ms. Clinton said that the crime bill, we made a lot of mistakes with that, and she wanted to atone for that by becoming the next president.
She was wrong. What happened was, it wasn't the crime bill. It was the drug legislation.
Thanks so much. That's really our time. I apologize.
You can't do that to black media.
I can't do that to white media and black media because my wife has to go on at 6 o'clock.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
All right, so that included someone on his team, trying to cut in and saying, thanks so much for your time. I apologize, trying to end it. What was your overall takeaway from the conversation?
My overall takeaway from the conversation was I heard him, talking about, things that he did for black people back in the day. But, what have you done for me lately is my motto. I see black communities all across America catching hell regardless of who's in the White House. And, people like to bring up coronavirus and how it's hitting black people the hardest. Well, that's because we have a bunch of underlying conditions created by systemic racism that have never been fixed. And like I said before, if you created legislation that hurt, then you have to create legislation that helps. It's just that simple. Like the whole system needs to be dismantled and rebuilt. And he's been a very intricate part of that system. Whether you're talking about, in 84 with the mandatory minimum sentences for drug dealers, or you're talking about 86 with the crack laws that gave you more time for crack cocaine and powder cocaine. Are you talking about the 94 crime bill? Like he was, really one of the people on the front line when it came to the war on drugs and mass incarceration. So I think that, if he wants to be president, he needs to fix that. He needs to really, really, help the people that have helped Democrats all of these years.
So Charlamagne, later on today, he walked back his comment in a call with the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce this afternoon, and specifically about the idea that just because you're black, you would vote for him as a Democrat. Here's part of what he said to them.
I shouldn't have been such a wise guy. I shouldn't have been so cavalier. No one should have to vote for any party based on their race, their religion, their background.
I mean, so that's what you're saying, but you're saying he still hasn't shown you why you would vote for him specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that simple. Like, he has a black agenda called the Lift Every Voice plan. And I mean, there's some cool things in there, but I still think that it could be much stronger. He's already committed to having a black woman on the Supreme Court. And I think that, a black woman running mate is necessary, especially after the day, And like the statement he made was interesting, because that's something I hear from other black people. It's very interesting to see that an old white man also looks at black people in that way. Like that question, what makes somebody black? That's a discussion for black people to have, And a white man is certainly not qualified to have that discussion. But people do connect blackness to support and protection of black culture. So I guess when we see a black person voting for Trump, and Trump is a threat to marginalized people in this country, it does make you question how much that person cares about his people. So I understand the statement is just a shot coming from a whole white man like Joe Biden. It was a real bulwark moment, if you've ever seen that movie.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Charlemagne. I always like talking to you.
Yeah, I like talking to you too. And I just want to stress, man, that, it is very important that, he makes a black woman his running mate. There's too many sisters that are overly qualified for the position. Stacey Abrams of Georgia, Val Demings of Florida, Senator Kamala Harris. Like, it's just too many sisters out there for him to just look past.
All right. Well, Charlemagne, thanks. I know he did tell you today there are multiple black women being considered. So that was the latest there. All right. Thanks as always. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Tonight.